All right, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. We are back in the Aerosoft CRJ. We're in the 700, and we're going to be doing a little flight here for Cemair, so South Africa. We are flying from Skukuza. We're here at the fantastic Skukuza airport. This is just a freeware third-party mod that I found on flightsim.to. So we're here at Skukuza, and we're going to be doing a short hop back across to Lanseria. Now, a couple things about this flight. First off, there's a bit of weather around us. It seems to be relatively clear here around Skukuza itself. Yeah, there's some clouds, but we're going that way. So possibly some bad weather to deal with. Second thing is, Lanseria is an airport that I really don't know very well, because even though it's right next to Aratambo, which is an area that I fly in a lot, I never really fly in and out of Lanseria, so that's going to be a little bit new. The other thing I'm going to be doing is, I've had PACX for, I don't know, a few years, pretty much ever since it came out, and I've never really messed around with the career system. So I'm actually starting off a career in PACX, so we're going to be flying this in career mode, and then we can see we have salt air, and we've got all of the aircraft restrictions on. We've got hardcore mode on. So that is the plan. We're going to be starting our salt air career, which means we are limited to some of these smaller commercial aircraft, and we're going to work our way up to, you know, your A320s, 737s, and then hopefully up to the bigger airliners as well. But today we're starting off in the 700. So we can see we are Cemair 1324. From Skukuza to Lanseria. We're cruising at 30,000 feet today, and we have a passenger count of 66. So I'm actually just going to cancel this, and we'll move this out the way for now, because I just want to get power to the aircraft before we get passengers boarding. So let's just bring up, it's been a while since I've flown the CRJ, so I'm going to kind of just go through, not really a checklist, but more like a list of procedures, just kind of make sure I remember how to work this aircraft, because it's been a while. It's been several months since I've flown this. So let me see if I can find this. So first things first, let's just get some things open. The chocks are in place. Stairs, we have ground power. We can open all of these doors because we want to get everything loaded up. So now if we jump outside, that shouldn't be reversing into us. But anyway, okay, stairs are there. Funny enough, our terminal door has a push rod in it, but we'll just ignore us. That is very, very close for our external power, but hey, whatever works, I suppose. Right, now we can start going through some of our flows, etc., to get things set up. So, our safety check, all of our circuit breakers, we would double check that they are all in. But anyway, they're not modeled in this aircraft, so not too big a deal to worry about in any case. Nose wheel steering switch should be off. Hydraulic pumps all off, which I think they are by default. Landing gear lever check down, which it is. Flight spoiler 0. Let's just reset that on the HOTAS as well. Okay, flaps and slats up. Cool, radar is off. And we can come across here. And when I do this, sometimes my cursor disappears like that. Okay, there we go. So ADG stowed, and emergency flap lever should be normal, which it is. And that's fine. Right, now we can come up to the top here and go battery master on. And we'll fire up, well, no, actually we won't fire up the APU because we have ground power. So let's go and accept that. And we'll fire up the APU just now when we're ready to go. Let's now IRS to nav, like so, on 1 and 2. Emergency equipment is not simulated, neither are the gear and safety pins. And in terms of documents, I've got my iPad in front of me with all of these procedures on and our charts that we need for the flight. Right. Now, get the passengers boarding because we have power to the aircraft. So we're flying with our Salt Air Korea. Double check, Cemair 1324, 30,000 feet. Got about half an hour until takeoff. Flight time of 50 minutes. And CRJ with 66 passengers on board. Right, there we go. Our passengers should now be boarding. They are boarding and they are quite loud. Let's turn that down a little bit. That's a bit better. Right, let's go and set up the FMS. So today we are flying from Skukuza. And let's, oh, you see now, I'm not used to flying this aircraft. Didn't actually set that, did I? So we need to go back here. No, I didn't. See, that on the Airbus or the Boeing, your next page buttons are down here. On the CRJ, they're up at the top here. So let's grab, these are all the same, so it doesn't actually matter. And we'll put that in there so that that can get aligning right. Flight plan, we are going from Skukuza to Lanseria. Right, and then we need, our routing today is very, very simple because there are no airways between these airports. Oh, then there are airways, around, but they're not designed to go in and out of these two airports. So we're doing some VOR to VOR directs today. So we're going direct to Nelspruit, which for some reason is Papa Kilo Victor. And then direct to Whiskey India Victor. Is that Witbank, I believe? Let me double check. Yeah, Witbank. And then direct to Lima India Victor, which is Lanseria. So we probably won't end up going straight to that last VR because we'll start our approach before that because that's right on the airport. Right. Now that that is done, we should sort out our fuel. Yeah, I just want to double check all of this. Yeah, we don't actually need to change anything here. I don't think any of this has changed since the last time I flew the aircraft. Cool, so we need to bring... Right, so our zero fuel weight today is 27.9. We'll enter that. And our fuel required is 3.9 tons. We'll pop that in as well. Set the payload, copy that to our FMS. What is our speed look like at flaps 20? This is a fairly short runway. I think we'll do a flaps 20 takeoff. It is dry currently. Let's hope it stays that way. Let's go and set those speeds. Right, and then we can finish setting this up. Cruise altitude today, 30,000. Like it might be a bit high. It's not a very long flight back to Joburg. Alternate cruise altitude. Alternate is Maputo. Cruise altitude, if we end up going there, is 330. Oh yes, I can't do that in this aircraft. And I can't click on clear because of the speed brake level. Right, that all looks good. Okay, I think we are done there. Right, then we just need to set this up. We don't have much way of options here. We are departing runway 35. And when we arrive in Lanseria, we will be arriving onto 07 on the ILS, and we'll take vectors for that. That's fine.
Please don't hesitate to let a flight attendant know, and he would be happy to help you. If the overhead bin is full, please make sure you close it.
Okay, that's the FMS done. Right, let's come back up here.
Please double check that all
And we probably should have done this a little bit sooner, but we'll put our nav lights on. Then passenger signs, auto,
if you're not able to
and emergency lights on.
Please let a flight attendant know so that way you can be reseated. Now's the time to get out any last-minute text messages if you need to, but we ask that once we depart from the gate, you put away any laptops or tablets. Thank you, and welcome aboard.
Okay, let's do this test. Cool. So we got fire test. Okay. Right, and we have nav lights on. Everything else needs to be off. We don't really need the logo because it's bright, so that's all good. Fuel, overhead panel, double check that these should both be orange, which they are. Bleed air, so set to normal, yes. Bleed valves auto. Isolation switch open, source both engines. That is checked. APU, we've got about 20 minutes left. We'll start that later on. Yeah, I think we can turn hydraulics on now, actually. Let's do that on. So auto on, auto, auto. LT should be armed, which it is. Then cabin pressure. We need to dial in our landing elevation. This is a bit tricky on this aircraft. Landing elevation 4,521 feet. So we have to do a bit of a funny angle here because it's this knob at the top here. Right, and we're reading over there, which is pretty small. If I can get this. We'll just have to scroll. Okay, so we'll do 452. 2,000. $4,200, 300. Okay, that looks like 440, so we can give it one click down, I think. Oh, we're supposed to be 4,520. And one more. 4,520. Cool. Landing elevation is set. Right, let's now go. Back switches auto. That's to say off, yes. Auto resoak fan should be on. Temperature control mode should be auto. Wait, oh wait, I didn't. Oh, that is on. Okay. Right, so that's on auto. Ram air switch. Off and guarded, which it is. And wing and car anti-ices should be all off. Oh, sounds like our boarding is done.
We're ready to go when you are.
Not what I
Good
wanted.
afternoon, ladies and
Ice
gentlemen,
detector
and welcome
switch
aboard
test.
Flight 1324 with service to Johannesburg. Our flight time will be roughly 52 minutes. Please note the cabin door is now closed. We ask that you make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your larger devices are now shut down and stowed. If you have not already, please fasten your seatbelt and verify it is low and tight across your lap. Your tray tables and seatbacks must be in the full upright and locked position for departure. Cabin crew, prepare cabin for departure.
Okay, let's test. Okay. Turn that off. Right, windshield heats both set to low. Like so. Emergency light switch is already armed. Standby compass check. I mean, it's there. Right, stall test. I think that's down here somewhere. Oh wait, that's the stall pusher on and off. But I think to test we push this on stall switch. So we push this. Go. Shaker. Stall switch flashes. And then when we release, it should stop. And I forgot to check. We should get contingency ignition over there, which we do, and then it stops when we release it. Cool. That is checked. Nose wheel steering is off. Clocks, we are all good. All checked. Instrument panels, all looks good. Our V speeds are set. Right, so anti-skid we should flip to off and check that we get a warning. Anti-skid, cool. Turn it back on and check that it extinguishes the warning. Perfect. Then select overheat and hold. Oh, that test is complete. Same thing on this side. That is also complete. Right. FMS is set. Already double checked landing gear, etc. Throttles idle. Well, actually not idle. They're in shuts off. Cursor switch is armed. Levers are in shut off. We checked already. Let's set this guy up. Right, IRS switches are both in nav. I should be set to standby. Trims. So we are looking at a trim of 7.2 and we are currently at 7.5. So let's bring that down a little bit. 7.2. And now, oops, that's not what I meant to do. the only thing with scrolling in and out. It's like when you scroll to zoom, if you scroll over something, you end up moving it, which can be a bit awkward. Okay, stab trim and like trim switches. Gauge, same with your damper. Source selector we should set to normal. Which is these guys here. Cool. And we've already checked that these are all correct. Should flip this guy over to 1. That'll activate that. Cool. Now, before start, we need to do... Does this mean it is currently open? Yeah, it does. Okay, so let's close all of these up.
Captain, the cabin is secure. All passengers are aboard.
We need to start the APU now.
On behalf of the captain and crew, welcome aboard this flight. We hope you enjoy flying with us. Before takeoff, we would like to encourage all passengers to watch our cabin crew display the safety features of the aircraft.
Can remove the chocks. Did that just remove the ground power? Looks like it did. Did we lose power? No, we didn't. But now I can't control that anymore. Right, we'll see how that goes. Okay, so chocks are removed. We've closed up all the doors. Passenger signs are on. Landing elevation is set. Boost pumps. We can now turn on altimeter. Let's see if we can get some weather here. No ATIS. Just have to set it automatically. 1019. I could look it up, but we'll, for the sake of time, even though I'm trying to do all of this properly, that'll do. Okay, altimeter is set. FMS is set. Yeah, our takeoff briefing is very simple. We are departing from runway 35. It'll be a straight out departure with heading mode, and we're going to climb all the way up to our cruise altitude of 30,000 feet. There's no SID, so we will just, once we're up to our climb speed, we will turn to the left to pick up our route direct to the Nelspruit VR. Okay, so there's our cruise altitude set. We will be doing heading, and we will speed initially. Well, actually, we will go up to, we have no speed restrictions other than 250 knots at 10,000. So we'll go up to 235 knots and climb up to 10,000 feet. And then we will speed up to around 290 and climb up to 30,000. And then we'll cruise at about Mach 0.74. Okay, our APU is up and running now, I believe. So can we get, yeah, we can't actually control that anymore, so. Oh well, let's turn the beacon on because we're about to start. We don't need to push because we're facing exactly where we need to go. Okay, takeoff data is all set. Doors are all closed. Wonder if maybe we should actually just do this. Get rid of that guy and then remove the chocks. Okay, that is better. He is moving. Okay, hydraulic pumps are all on. Fuel double check. Have 3.9 tons on board. Obviously the AP is running now, so it's going down a little bit. Parking brake should be set. Yes, it is. Now we can start up the engines. Come up here and start engine 2. Engine 2 is coming up.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the front of the aircraft for a safety demonstration.
Okay, what we should do is our fuel feed valve test. So, open the fuel page,
To fasten, insert the metal fittings
which is
into
over
one another.
here,
Tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap.
right? And
Release
then,
the seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. In the event that the seatbelt light is not on, we suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened in case of unexpected turbulence.
switch off fuel
Please
pumps
take a
for
few moments
both
to now locate one of
sides.
the several emergency exits on this aircraft.
I mean
In some
these.
cases, your nearest exit may be behind you. In case of an emergency and we need to evacuate the aircraft, there is lighting on the floor.
Right fuel, low pressure.
In the event of a decompression, an oxygen mask will drop in front of you. To start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you. Place it firmly over
Oh, hang
the
on.
mouth. Secure the elastic band behind
Maybe
your head.
they don't
Tighten
mean the
strap
boost
to
pumps, they mean the
release
actual
slowly.
fuel pumps.
Although the bag does not inflate, oxygen is flowing to the mask. If you're traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance,
It says it
turn your
should
mask
say,
on first
oh
and then
right,
others.
because
Keep
I
your mask on until a member of the crew advises
started
you
the
to escape to
right
a
engine first, so it should
In
say
the unlikely event
left
of a
fuel,
water
low
landing,
pressure,
a life vest is located in a pouch
which
under
it
your
does.
seat or between the armrests.
Perfect.
When instructed to do so, open the
And
plastic
then we can
pouch
switch
and
the
remove
pumps
the
back
vest.
on.
Flip it over your head. Wrap the
Right,
strap
slowly
around your
remembering
waist
what I'm
and buckle
doing
at the
here.
front. Pull the strap to tighten.
Okay, then we
Place
should
the vest
start
full
the other
firmly on
engine.
red cord
Now I
before
realized
exiting
I
the
was a
aircraft.
bit quick
If your life vest
on the
does not
draw when
inflate
it comes to
automatically, blow into the mouthpiece
setting the
for visual
engine
inflation.
or setting the
Vest is
throttle lever
equipped with
to
a whistle
idle.
and light.
Should wait
If
for
necessary,
20%
the cushion
N2.
can be used as a secondary flotation device. Pull the cushion from the seat, slip your arms into the straps, and hug the cushion to your chest. Please securely stow your personal items. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened and seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight.
Right, so engine 2 is now starting up.
Destroying the
Or
smoke
actually,
detectors
engine 1.
located in the lavatories is prohibited by law.
Those
All
dark
this
clouds are
information can be
rolling
found
in.
the safety card located in the seat
Like
back
it
in front
might
you.
be a bit of
Please
rain
read it
out
and let
that
the cabin
way.
member know if you have any questions. Thanks
We
for
are taking
joining
off
us
in
again. We hope you
that
enjoy your flight.
direction, so hopefully actually looks worse than this way. If it's really bad, we might turn around and go out this way, but we'll see when we take off. Engines are coming up nicely. So generator 1 and 2 should be on auto, which they are. And turn the APU off now. Back down. E-valves should be on auto and PACX should be on anti-ice. I think we might actually go with the anti-ice on. What is our temperature? Where do we see that? We should set this. It's cabin temp. There we go. 19 degrees. I reckon once we get up in the clouds there, we're going to have issues with anti-ice. So we'll do anti-ice. And, that uses a lot of engine performance. No. Because of that, I think we'll keep the anti-ice off and then turn it on just after takeoff once we're airborne. Okay, but we do need probe heats on. Now come down here and arm our nose wheel steering. And we'll go flaps 8.
Cabin is
No, we're
secure,
doing
ready for
flaps.
departure.
Flaps 20 actually. Okay, trims green. Reversers are armed. Flight instruments checked. We'll sort out our heading once we line up on the runway. Right, let's get moving. So the next thing we need to do is come up here and do taxi lights on. Release the parking brake and we can taxi ourselves straight out. Wow, those clouds look pretty nasty that are rolling in, not gonna lie. We need to go out that way. We might do a right-hand turn because of this weather. How does the runway look wet? Well, let's do strobes and running lights. Oh yeah, it's raining down that end. I think we're going to do a right-hand turn. But it doesn't look that much better out that way, to be honest. What do we think here? It is slightly better out that way. I think we're going to do a right-hand turn as we climb and come back over this side. It's a little bit brighter. Mind you, if we do that, we're going into those dark clouds. No, we'll stick with left. Okay, let's sync up our heading here. Set. Right. Lights and strobes on. Fuel. Manual. Oops, it's supposed to be that one. Manual and crossfeed switch is set to manual. Crossfeeds are off. Okay, that's correct. Mission anti-ice. We'll turn on the anti-ice once we've taken off. Flight attendants advised. TCAS is set. We don't have radar, which is a bit concerning considering what we're looking at in front of us. Right, I guess this is it. Here we go. We're going to do a toga takeoff. I pretty much always do a toga takeoff in the CRJ anyway. Not the longest runway in the world, that's for sure. Right, there we go. Gear up. Start bringing the flaps up. Autopilot on. I think we will get the anti-ice on as well. Right, how does it look out that way? Yeah, flaps are now up. Now let's give ourselves pretty much a 90-degree turn here. Left. Thought I had the flaps all the way up there, but obviously not. Just looking on our course, I don't really want to go through that. We're probably going to go over that way, so give ourselves a little bit more. Well, let's see how that goes. Yeah, after takeoff, so we can do fuel crossflow auto. Speeds and APU are set. We can turn off our taxi lights. And we can disarm the thrust reversers as well. Flaps up, gear up. Looking good so far. We're approaching 10,000 feet. Can do is...
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now passed 10,000 feet. You may now turn on your larger portable electronic devices. This is also a reminder
standard.
to keep your seatbelt fastened while you're seated.
I think from here we'll just do a direct to...
This aircraft is equipped with onboard Wi-Fi. If you wish to connect to the
And we can
Wi-Fi,
go
you'll be directed
nav.
to a page to pay a small fee for internet access. We do
Okay, there's
offer
10,000 feet, so landing lights
complimentary
can come off.
to our partners. Connect to the
And we'll
Wi-Fi,
speed up
you'll be able
to
access a wide
290.
range of free live TV and paid movies libraries.
Doesn't look too stormy. It's not really bumpy at the moment, which is good. But I think the worst of it is kind of out that way. Looking a little clearer in the direction we're going. So I think we're all right in terms of weather. Right, so now it is just a case of keeping an eye on our speed. We can turn off the anti-ice now, I reckon. A bit more engine performance. And check out that climb rate increase. We're going to keep the seatbelt signs on just in case we hit any bumps because of the weather. So I'm just going to keep an eye on our speed. And once we hit Mach 0.74, we'll switch from speed to Mach, and then obviously once we level off,
Ladies and gentlemen,
we will manage our throttles manually. And if we look here, are expecting to reach top of climb just after Nelspruit. Climb rate is 3,500 feet per minute, so not bad. We are pretty light today, obviously, in terms of fuel, because it's a fairly short flight. A little bit of movement in the air, nothing too serious. Just thinking, we do kind of want to get the seatbelt signs off as soon as possible if we're going to serve drinks and snacks on this flight, because it is so short. So maybe let's do that now. I think we should be okay. But I can't read if that's on or middle is off. It looks like the worst is back there. Right, there we are, turning out towards Joburg now over the Kruger and Mpumalanga Airport near Nelspruit. Wind outside, 37 knots. 37 knot headwind, so not great. Getting a little bumpy. Right there, really short flights. Our top of descent. That's Middelburg Airport, I believe. And then just after that we have Witbank BRR, and pretty much right after that is our top of descent. More of a solid cloud layer up ahead. Like that was just those kind of puffy clouds, but now solid cover up ahead. Lanseria does have an ILS. Not sure exactly what the weather is like once we get to Lanseria. About 2,000 feet to go, and we're coming up to Mach 7.4. Yeah, so let's flip this over. Feed to Mach, and we'll hold that. Right, 1,000 feet to level off. 2-knot headwind, and this aircraft still wants to just go. Throttles back here. We're at 0.78 Gs. It is starting to get a bit bumpy now. I think we should put these back on. Right, we're about 9 minutes from our top of descent, so we should actually already have briefed our arrival, but we'll do that now that we are cruising. So we are doing the ILS runway 7, so it's ILS Zulu runway 7 at Lanseria, and our intercept altitude is 6,700. Actually dial that in now already. XO. Frequency. Nominal speed. Why am I looking down there? Need to come here to radio for nav 1. Now frequency is 110.7. Set. Glide slope 3 degrees. Minimums. Now, I had an issue with this before, I remember now. But this, it doesn't actually seem to appear anywhere. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to appear there, but turning this does nothing. There we go. Fixed it. Oh, come on. Wow, I have to dial in a decision height of 5,020 feet. It's gonna be scrolling simulator next level. As that flashing. And I can't click to scroll, I have to use a scroll wheel. Oh, this is gonna take the rest of this video. Yeah, I just changed this now. Oh well, I hope you enjoy this. This is gonna take long. Oh, actually, I'm reading the wrong category. So we don't have to go all the way to 5,020. We just have to do 4,730. Still. Oh, this is painful. can't just click and hold like you can with the other controls. I must be missing something. This cannot be the best way to do this. Okay, anyway, let's see if I can keep scrolling. See if there's anything else we need to know in terms of our arrival. So MSA 8400. So we've dialed in 110.7. The course is 66 degrees. And our outer marker is 5.7 nautical miles. The ILS, so that's Lima Alpha India, and it is at 6,330 feet. Jeez, we're not even at 1,000 feet yet. It can't go above that. Was I supposed to change this here? I don't know what I've done wrong there. That's decision height. Maybe it's only radio in this aircraft, in which case I should set 209, which means I'm going to have to go all the way back down. Okay, 4 minutes to top of descent. If you know the answer to what I'm supposed to set here. So on the chart, our decision altitude is 4,730 feet. Actually, I'm just an idiot, because I'm reading decision altitude. Decision height, in brackets next to it, is 209. And this is decision height, not decision altitude. Oops. We're almost there. 209. There we go. Let's see the MDA. Also scrolls really slowly. Okay, that's all good. We can turn that one off. That like that. Cool. That is good to go. In terms of our actual route, it's gonna have a break here for vectors. You don't actually want to go all the way to the Lanseria VR, but we should have, yeah, these guys. So we're kind of gonna fly along. What would that be? About 250 degrees, and then to our own vector turn back to line up and intercept the ILS. So that's pretty simple. Okay, the other thing we need to do is set our approach speeds. I think we are good to go. Yeah, missed approach altitude is 8,000 feet, and we will follow the missed approach procedure if required. Weather's cleared up nicely though. It's, I mean, pretty much clear from kind of where we are right now. So I don't think missed approach will be an issue for weather reasons, but for bad flying reasons, it's always a possibility. Right, so I think what we'll do is, now I know in real life they don't really use speed hold in the descent, they use the vertical speed, but I don't quite know why, to be honest. I think flying as a single pilot and for what we're doing, speed hold works really nicely. What are we at now? 280, so we'll set it to hold 0.74. And we will then use the throttles to control our descent rate, as opposed to having a fixed descent rate and using the throttle to control our speed. And once we are on our approach, our maximum speed is 230 knots, but that's fine. Will most likely be less than that anyway by the time we intercept the glide slope. In fact, when we're lining up with the localizer, we'll set it to 230. Okay, we've just reached Bitbank's VR. I think we can now head and start our descent. I'll kind of just use that purple line, give us an indication of where we're going to reach our 6,700 foot altitude, which is what we will use to intercept the glide slope. So as long as we have that happening kind of before we intercept, it's fine. So we can push that out a little bit. All right, let's have a look in our legs page and see, do we have any... This is 6,700 once we reach the glide slope. Is there anything before that? So LA 127, LA Lima Alpha India 12 above 6,000, above 7,600 feet. But if we keep ourselves on that star, we'll be on our vertical path perfectly. Okay, seatbelt sounds are already on because we left them on when it started to look like we might have some turbulence. More clouds from Bitbank pretty much. Some high level clouds out towards Johannesburg. A little bit more low level out there, but nothing serious at the moment by the looks of things. So what we probably should do then is set this altitude restriction 7,600. We want to be above that. But other than that, everything's fairly uneventful at the moment. Why is that orange? The fuel temperature. Wait, no, this is... Okay, so now what we should be doing, bringing this down, which is a little bit later than we should have done it, which is why it's beeping at us. I'm saying things are uneventful and I'm not watching what I'm doing. Not sure what those temperatures are actually reading. Just get so used to flying aircraft that have the auto throttle. Completely forget to manage the speed myself. I mean, that's one of the main reasons, or one of the main things that makes this aircraft a bit more interesting to fly, you know, than like the A320 or 737. If we were in the Airbus at this point, we would have just, you know, clicked descent and then pretty much chilled until we reach the ILS and we disconnect the autopilot and land the aircraft. But with this aircraft, you're always doing something. Right, so that restriction where we need to be above 6,700 feet is our first waypoint of the ILS, actually. So it's Lima Alpha India 12. So that's 12 DME from Lima Alpha India, which is the ILS or Lanseria runway 7. Coming up to 15,000 feet, so I like to start slowing us down at this stage so we can make sure we do a nice gradual slow down, I suppose, so we don't bust the 250 10,000 feet restriction. Now approaching Pretoria. Oh, we're this is actually Pretoria out this way. There. Johannesburg, Aerosoft Dam. Lanseria is just ahead of us. So what we're going to do... There's the airport there.
Descent into Johannesburg. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed.
Let's go ahead and dial in 250.
Please also store any carry-on items
turn.
either in the seat back pocket or under the seat in front of you. Please complete
Little
all
bit
Wi-Fi
closer,
related
let's do
tasks and stow
245.
any larger electronics.
Right, let's make that turn. Yeah, so on the approach, we don't want to be above 230, so we'll dial that in now. Slowing down to 230 before we make our turn. We'll kind of get in line with this. And then we will make our turn towards the ILS. Kind of just on a big circuit now, essentially. Well, it's a big circuit if you're in a little Cessna. Maybe in a CRJ... Not too crazy. City center out that way. Mountain is over there. Our Tambo is out this way. Open area where the runways are. Okay, 10,000 feet. Landing lights can come on. We are below 250 knots. Okay, so that is actually our point where we want to be above 7,600. Just bringing in some power to start slowing our descent rate a bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to land. Please remain seated until we have stopped.
Bumpy and Joburg as well. Right, let's see. Seven. Yeah, we'll have to do this turn manually, that's fine. Why this doesn't give us Lima Alpha India 12. I'm going to start bringing the speed down gradually. Flaps 1 and flaps 8. And our VREF is 138, so we'll dial that on our speed as a reference, just makes it easier to see. Keeping around 200 knots at the moment. Should turn towards the ILS now, there it is. Alright, let's go ahead and arm our approach. Down to about 180. About to intercept the glide slope so we can take gear on the next set of flaps. There's the glide slope. Okay, we're all idle now, so come down to our approach speed. Put flaps full. Taxi lights on. I did read somewhere that the HUD wasn't working in the latest update. Does seem to be a thing. Right, gears down, flaps full. Heat checked. Lights are set. We are good to go. Landing elevation is set. Oh, what we should actually do is arm the reversers, even though we probably won't use them. Did fully configure for landing a little early.
1,000.
Yeah, 1,000 feet stable. Missed approach altitude is 8,000. Like so. Right then, our parking is, we're on, well, there's only one terminal, so we're at Bravo 8. This is default scenery, if I remember correctly, so we'll see that exists. Right, we'll take manual control.
500.
Continue visually. Significant wind from the left.
400. 300. Minimum 200.
Can you?
Minimum 100. Minimum 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Johannesburg. The local time is 5:15 p.m. and it's currently about 15 degrees Celsius. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins as items may have shifted during the flight. If this is your final destination, we thank you for flying with us and we hope to see you again soon.
Right, so all we do is take a left over here and we follow Alpha all the way to the bay and then look for stand Bravo 7. I say Bravo 7, I mean Bravo 8. So, welcome to Lanseria International. You actually power it up. There we go. Oh yes, this airport is actually on a bit of a slope. So we are going uphill here, which is why we need a bit more power than we're used to. But a fairly long taxi terminal here. So Lanseria does have some airline flights, but it's mostly like charters and private, and on the other side of the apron down there's a lot of like training flight schools and stuff. Yeah, mostly charter and flight school, but there are a couple of airlines that operate out of Lanseria as well. I think Safir, Kalula, I can't remember if Express and Airlink do. But anyway, that's not its main focus. That's the kind of whole point that I'm getting at. Which makes sense. So with Joburg, it's like 20 minutes drive from here. That's, I mean, Joburg or at Tambo Airport. So this is Romeo. Does take us onto the main apron. That's where we turn in. I don't think these are gonna have numbers on the ground because it's all just default. Bravo 8 is kind of down this side. Maybe we should just go where the marshallers are. Should be the next one here. The actual line. Yes. This might in reality be 7. Looks like, yeah, 7 is just on the edge of the big terminal buildings. I think this is actually 7. Oh, that's 8, but we would have driven right over them, so. Let's bring ourselves to a stop. Parking brake, so APU is on, but we need to double check. This guy should be on auto. And then we can go ahead and start shutting things down. Right, so this guy can go to standby. Flaps are up, lights and strobes are off. Probes we can now turn off. The parking brake is set. Electrics, we have the APU running. Let's go shut off on our thrust levers. Then we can turn off seatbelt signs. Anti-ice is off. Fuel pumps. Turn both of those off now. Hydraulic can turn off, all of them except 3A. Nose wheel steering down here can come off now. And if we go here, we'll do box.
Ladies and gentlemen, the door is open. Please make your way to the exit and please make sure you have all your personal items and carry-on luggage.
Right, we'll also go ahead and turn off these guys. And it's off. Shield heats both off. Hydraulic pumps can now all come off. Go. We'll shut down the APU. DC service off. Battery master off. That, I believe, is everything. We just let the passengers disembark now. I'm done. Once again, just after the sim update, the sim is nice and laggy. Give it a few weeks for that to be sorted out. It happens every single time for me. But that is going to bring us to the end of our flight. So just a nice quick hop Cemair from Skukuza over to Lanseria. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do down below. And I will see you guys next time. But actually, before we do that, you want to just take a look at our flight for PACX, because this is our part, or this is part of our career that we've started, so we can end the flight now. Just achieved rank of cadet. Don't actually know what that means just yet. Slightly ahead of schedule. Landing rate 219. Not amazing, not bad. So there's expensive. Oh yeah, so when I set up the flight, I went for good service. The best service and expensive prices, because I'm not really going to operate like a low-cost airline. I'm trying to do like the charter stuff, kind of Cemair style. With the VAs, we can do all of the normal airline flights. So the idea with Salta is to operate to some of the different places like Skukuza and Lanseria. So we made it expensive, but with very good service. So they're saying it's quite expensive, but hey, hopefully we had good service as well. And 92% satisfied. Most of all events just slightly ahead of schedule. So if we go here to manage careers, don't really see much information. Same thing. Okay, so does that mean if we are now a cadet, we have access to new aircraft? Okay, so we still got to do some more flights with the smaller commercial jets. Anyway, once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.